If you take anything at all from all this bullshit, take this. When you kill a nigga, make sure he dead. That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Wow. What a ending. What an ending. Woo-hoo! What an ending. Episode 10. Wow. Just wow. We have a lot of questions and a few answers was basically answered, right? A few questions that was answered. So. Unique's alive. Unique's alive. He is alive. Now, granted, I was with everybody. I'm like, Ronnie had the pipe. He cracked his skull. And we all heard it, right? But keep in mind, even if you have a cracked skull, there's a chance that you can still be alive, right? There's a small sliver of a chance. But like older Kanan said at the end, if that nigga dead, you better make sure he's dead. Yo, I'm like, who's the dude with the boots walking up? Because remember how in episode 9 they was kind of like hyping up, what's his name? I forgot his name. He's a rapper, and he basically was Ronnie's second in command, right? I'm like, okay, maybe they're gonna do Ty Dolla. Was it Ty Dolla? I think Ty Dolla. That guy, right? And it was just like, oh, he was Ronnie's second in command, and I'm thinking like, okay, he was gonna probably be here this episode. He wasn't nowhere to be found, so I'm guessing there might be plans for him. There might be some sort of plans for him because he wasn't here this episode. So I'm like, all right, there's a chance he could probably be either maybe going against maybe Rock, or maybe he might side with Unique. I don't know, because he seemed like he was really loyal to Ronnie. So I'm kind of wondering where his character is gonna like fit in all this. I'm thinking he's gonna be like an antagonist. That's what I'm thinking. And oh my god, Unique at the end, I'm just like, his head, like you see his head, it's just like, he's been fucked up. So I'm like, oh boy. Joey Badass, he kind of gave us a swerve though, and it was a good swerve. It was a really good swerve, because when TMZ was interviewing him, and he was just like, oh, because I got too much, I got stuff to juggle, which is fair and it's very believable. But then you see him at the end, I'm like, oh, you mother. I mean, it's good. It's really good swerving. Now, seeing how Unique's alive, this is only going to further those rumors and speculations that is Ghost alive, right? It's only going to further this. But even though, granted, I know it's different. He got shot compared to getting his head, crushed. But, I mean, possibilities, right? But now we going forward to the shooting of what Rock did to Detective Howard. And I'm like, it only made sense. It really made sense, because it was just like, oh, I kind of felt bad a little bit for him, because he did genuinely cared and he was trying to like save Kanan. But then Kanan told Ronnie, he was just like, oh, he told him like the truth. And he was just like, oh, I couldn't believe this. And he was like, oh, here's like 500K. Now we rich. And then Kanan kills Ronnie. So again, everybody who kept on saying, oh, he's possibly Breeze. I mean, I can understand the connections and maybe something there, but no, Ronnie's dead. Ronnie got shot in the head. That man is dead. Now, granted as well, sometimes a person who can get shot in the head doesn't necessarily mean he's actually dead. This cycle could probably got shot in the head, I don't know, get recovered or something. But if it's been confirmed he's dead, then he's dead. But I don't know. I was liking Ronnie's character as being a psycho. And like I said before, there's been stories and cases of people who getting shot in the head and not actually dying from a gunshot wound to the head. So again, if there's like a statement that comes out that's basically saying that, oh, Ronnie's dead, he's not coming back, then it's sure. But then again, the actor himself is going to be in another show, so I guess that's going to be it for Ronnie hitting his character. But I did like this character. I really did. I loved like the whole psycho-ness of, Ronnie Myers. I really did like that, though. So in the comment section down below, y'all all type Ronnie Myers. Y'all all type that down. Like, Ronnie was the best, Ronnie Myers, whatever. Y'all go crazy. But Ronnie, I loved his character, and I love what he actually did. And it's, because Kanan wasn't going to allow Ronnie to kill Rock. He wasn't going to allow that. Yeah, as I kept saying before, it was just like, yeah, he wasn't Rock. No, Kanan wasn't messing with Rock like that, but it doesn't mean he wanted her dead. Again, Kanan hasn't reached that point yet, and we don't even know if he will ever even reach that point on him, wanting his own mom dead. We don't know. We still have a couple of seasons to go to see if that decision ever came up fully on if he wanted her dead or not. But I mean, he was quite surprised as to why she even killed, Detective Howard, and that was his father. So it's like he has this look like, why did you do that? I'm kind of confused, right? But hopefully she explains to him and tell him, like, listen, the feds they was coming for him, and he was suggesting that maybe Marvin goes under. Now, granted, it doesn't mean that the feds is just gonna go away, because it's like they was really gunning for Howard, because it was just like there's a lot of connections, there's a lot of holes as to what was really going on, and they had something because they was trying to get him. But I like the fact that Howard wasn't gonna break, but if they would have got him, eventually he would have talked, because as he showed up at Rock's apartment, and he was just like, oh, I'm a guy that has nothing to lose, as at the time he didn't have anything to lose, because he was just like, if they get me, he didn't say he was like gonna say anything, but if they would have nabbed him, he probably would. That's why he kept on saying Marvin should get, it should be Marvin's turn, right? I think Marvin should go to prison, he should take the heat for it. But I like Rock on what she did, because she was like, I'm not giving up my family, I'm not doing this. And I like that, I really do, that she was really strong on that, and even trying to even save Kanan, but didn't know the whole thing was a swerve under Kanan's part, and Kanan actually killed Ronnie. So I was like, okay, it was great. I loved it. It was really good. Now, for Snaps and Pop, I would not mind them actually returning. I wouldn't mind them actually returning maybe next season. But then again, it was just like, they was only there because Ronnie needed a little money. But then again, they did lost they money with Ronnie, because they had business with him. So I would like to say there's a possibility to keep him around, right? Because again, maybe Ronnie's second in command, maybe him, but who knows? Like I said, I feel like there could be something you can do with them, right, to keep them around and keep them afloat. But again, who knows? Because who knows, right? Now, Crystal and Kanan in the beginning, where she was trying to, establish, I guess, a relationship with Kanan, and Kanan was just like, listen, man, I just want to smoke this blunt. But then she said that she was pregnant. Now, we don't know in the story of raising Kanan on what they're trying to tell here. Are they trying to tell us that if this girl Crystal is lying to Kanan, so that way Kanan can, I guess, be with her, right? Or is she pregnant, and they want to try to tell a story that maybe Kanan had two children. Maybe he had Sean, and maybe there was actually another kid, but because something maybe crazy happens, Crystal has to leave or something, right? I'm kind of wondering what type of story they're gonna play off with here. But again, yeah, I'm because I was thinking, I just had this thought, if they was to do the story, right, that if Crystal does go away because something happens, then you can argue that Kanan had another child, but Crystal was gone, and Kanan never really thought of that other child anymore. And when the other girl comes along, because again, Sean's mother is still alive in the original Power, so and she went by a different name. I think her name was something it started with a J. Her name started with a J, but it's just that was somebody completely different, and that's when Kanan has Sean. But I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna try to spin the story if Kanan actually had another kid, and like I said, Crystal goes away or something. But kind of wondering what they're gonna do there. And then we seen Aisha and Jukebox, they was kind of talking, and that's when she kind of confessed. But then Jukebox is just listen, my family's crazy, I can never get from under them, I need to go into military. So I'm kind of wondering what they're gonna do with Jukebox next season as well, because I mean, I guess Butter, the group, might be dead because of the whole, special agents coming in there asking questions about if Marvin is hanging out with Detective Howard or not. So I guess the group, is essentially dead. And Sean, I was gonna say Sean, and famous. I mean, the way that they bust in on him. See, again, it was Famous's fault for even taking a gun because the mother basically was searching, again, because as mothers do, they nosy, they be snooping through stuff. I'm pretty sure some of y'all is out there. Y'all probably had a little something on you or whatever, and mother was searching through things and be like, oh, what's this? And she did that, and cops came in. They was just like, oh, so about this gun. And he's not out the loop either, because it's like, they're apparently, I guess they have some evidence, because that was his gun that he shot Freddy with. And, Captain Lewis and Special Agent Tanner, they trying to pull him in and say like, well, Malcolm Howard basically bailed you out of something. So we don't know if Famous is actually going to give up Kanan. We don't know. And if it will probably result to Famous's death maybe next season or whatever, because again, Kanan's probably his name going to probably be dragged back into the mud again. And since Malcolm Howard is dead, Rock no longer has no guy on the inside. She doesn't have no more connections on the inside to be like, okay, what are they actually looking at and what are they looking for? So I guess, and assuming that maybe Special Agent Tanner's work is not going to be done in Jamaica, Queens, so he probably might be sticking around, because again, now you have a dead cop, officially a dead cop now. He's not shot and taken to the hospital. No. Rock shot his ass in the head. So now you're going to have that whole ordeal. Marvin is still not in the clear, because they still looking at Marvin for all of this, right? Because they've been moved off from the whole Crown Camacho situation. They really looking at Marvin. And since, Special Agent Tanner and his partner, they try to go over to the rehab center to see what Lulu was talking about and trying to, investigate further. And Lulu didn't say anything. But it's kind of crazy how we seen, Lulu and Rock kind of like, I guess, reconcile a little bit, and her apologizing for the things that she did to him. And then he also had to admit that, yeah, he's a grown man. He had to make those decisions, and part of what he did was a mistake. So I said, okay, fair, granted, right? And then we seen like a little bit later that he actually tried to kill himself. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with like Lulu's character, because he had like a character development just a little bit, because it's just like you're gone from a guy who Rock chose to be his right-hand man, and for him to essentially take over, to this drunken spiral of, well, before the drunken spiral, like he wanted to separate from her and just focus on music, and then he became like a drunken spiral, because it's just like the guilt was like really getting to him. And I was like, yeah, it kind of like made sense and all, but I'm kind of curious like what they're going to do with him like next season. Like, will he, I guess, like maybe go legit, or will it be, because since he's still in the life and he's still still will be around Rock, like will he have no choice but to come back, and maybe he will have to be strapped up again? Like maybe he'll get his mind clear or whatever, and maybe he have to be forced to be strapped again, or will he just separate himself and be like, maybe he doesn't want it, because he doesn't want to do any of that anymore. He does want to focus on the music, but it's just that the pain and the trauma is going to get to him, and he probably will still be seeing maybe ghosts from the past of what he did, and that's going to probably still haunt him, despite him getting proper treatment. It's just to know that he did a lot of messed up things, and he's trying to figure a way of living with that. So oh my God, it's just man, I'm telling you, man. But comment down below on what do you guys thought of this last episode, because frankly I was a little bit surprised, because I didn't think Detective Howard was gonna die. I had a feeling that maybe Ronnie was gonna die. Like I said, I did like his character, but it did make sense for Kanan to shoot him. It really did. It really did. It made sense for him to actually to do that. That's why I said there's no freaking way he was Breeze. There's no way. Now, I've seen a lot of people make like an interesting argument that maybe Unique could probably turn into being Breeze. Very possible. It's very possible. But I'm still going to go with that Breeze is actually a whole new character rather than it just being Unique, right? Because, I mean, Unique got a whole scar in his head. We don't know how warped Unique is going to be maybe next season because Ronnie did crack his skull. So we don't know how Unique is actually going to be, right? And as I said before, I feel like the war between Unique and Raquel must continue. I feel like it probably must continue because it's just like, well, remember in the first season he was the antagonist, and the thing is that the stuff that Ronnie was actually telling Unique didn't make sense because it was just like, yeah, she shot at you, she had you arrested, she took your business, she destroyed everything. So I feel like that probably might continue, right? But then again, who knows, because we probably might have like another antagonist in the next season. But like I said before, you still have Ronnie, you still have like Snaps and Pop who lost part of their investment with Ronnie. So again, you can still keep them around, but again, I feel like with them, they not really, doing anything, despite, Snap saying that, yeah, Rock getting in our face like that, like, nah, we gonna make her suffer. But like I said, I don't know, you can probably keep them around, right? But then again, they might not be around at all. But again, who knows? I want them to like still be around or whatever, but again, who knows? And lastly, Stefano giving Rock the money, I would assume Rock is just gonna give him back the money, and she doesn't have to like sell her house or anything. But I do wonder if Rock is actually gonna tell Kanan any of this. Like, I wonder, will it be like a complete shift in the story where maybe it will probably be Rock and maybe Kanan for like a little bit. Maybe probably like Rock and Kanan, like maybe they will maybe put some sort of differences to a side. Maybe they probably will. I don't know. But Kanan is still confused because again, Rock's not saying anything, and I wonder, will Kanan actually regret that decision and be like, maybe he should have not betrayed Ronnie, and maybe he should have had Ronnie kill Rock at that point in time, because again, there's gonna be a lot of fuck shit that's gonna happen between Kanan and Rock. There's gonna be plenty of that's gonna happen. That's why I'm saying it's just like, we don't know what Kanan's ultimate decision is gonna be on if he's going to have Rock be killed or not. And I like the similarities from when in the original Power, where Tariq faked being captured by the Italians and forcing Ghost and Tommy, Tasha, everybody to like, come up with, I think $2 million, $3 million to give to the Italians, but it was all a ruse. So I kind of like what they did there, but the caveat in the reverse was that, Kanan actually killed Ronnie instead of Tommy killing, I forgot his doggone name. I think his name was Vincent. Yeah, instead of Tommy killing Vincent and whatnot, and the rest of the Italians as well. But yeah, it was quite interesting. It was quite interesting, and I'm really curious to see what that season 4 is gonna look like, because again, you have a returning Unique, right? Potential baby or not with Crystal and Kanan. And then I guess Jukebox decision making on if she's going to go to the army or not. And the feds probably going to be hanging around in town, because it's all going to prove their suspicion, because they're going to be like, wait a minute, maybe Marvin did kill Detective Howard. Maybe he did do it, because it's just like, okay, there's probably going to be some sort of connection. And they're going to be focusing hard on trying to like solve Detective Howard's murder and being like, okay, what actually happened? And maybe in the future, maybe Rock will probably decide to be like, maybe Marvin will have to take the rap. Maybe she probably will think about it. But then again, I was kind of thinking like, if Lulu's guilt is still getting to him, then ultimately I would say maybe Lulu would probably take the rap for it. Like maybe he'd be like, well, since everything that he did and the guilt is constantly getting to him, maybe they'd be like, maybe it was all Lulu. Maybe they just pin everything on him, right? And then have Lulu go down for all this instead of it being Marvin. I was kind of like leaning towards that as well, and seeing what they probably might do with the story. But overall, it was crazy. But my boy Unique looking all types of disheveled and fucked up. He coming up out of nowhere looking at his brother. I was like, oh shit. But comment down below what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll catch you all in the next one.